today, I hope that you will find the information we're about to present helpful. As I said before, we strive to produce research that is actionable, tailored to the daily challenges that people face in managing projects and programs these days. We've been doing this for about 25 years, which also gives us some perspective on how project management is changing and where the future might lead. So today I'll be touching on the findings from our 3 most recent research studies. First, the adaptive organization, which was released in 2019. This was in response to the actual data was collected in at the end of 2018, and it was in response to the changes in the 6th edition of the PMBOK to include information about how project management should work in agile and adaptive environments. We wanted to find out what companies were doing to incorporate agile, and even more, whether it was working or not. The second study we're going to take a look at is the state of project management, which was conducted and released in the beginning of 2020. This was kind of touching base again. We had done a state of project management study, I think in 2010. So after 10 years, we felt it was time to touch in and have a general look at how things were going in the field. Of course, the research this data was collected in January 2020. So despite the date on this study, it doesn't really reflect any of the disruptions that we saw starting in March. But then in 2021, we wanted to look back and see how companies had used project management during the pandemic to try to deal with some of the business disruptions they faced. So these are the 3 studies that we're going to look at today in a little more detail. And then we're also going to have a preview of our next study, which will be released in January of 2022. And that is the state of the PMO. Now, State of the PMO is a study that we have done about every 2 years for over a decade. However, we haven't done it since 2016. And in the intervening time, a lot has changed. Sydney, my co-presenter, was instrumental in developing the PMO research survey. And she's going to describe some of the new aspects of the PMO that we'll be exploring. Sydney?
So we're going to look at well, first of all, hello, everyone. And we're going to be talking about today is how work is planned and executed. And is Agile just another way of development, or how does it really affect the organization? And looking at how business involvement is increased and the benefits from that. Getting more business and customer feedback within the development lifecycle. We're looking at the business-centric or focused PMO and how we want to include our business folks to meet the customer needs. We're talking about training and how important that is that everyone knows what their roles and responsibilities are. We're looking at benefits management and the importance of tying the deliverables and the benefits that the work that is being developed has in tandem with the company's strategic objectives and goals. And then we're also going to be talking a little bit about the organizational change management and how important that is for new work efforts.
Great. So then we also hope to have plenty of time for questions at the end. Although if you have a question, feel free to enter it in the chat as we go. Okay, so the first study we're going to take a look at is the adaptive organization. As I said, the data was gathered at the end of 2018 and it was released in 2019. Like all our research, it is survey-based, and we ask participants to rate their use of a range of agile and adaptive practices, tools, and methods on a Likert scale of 1 to 5, with 5 being using this practice to a very great extent. We then compared the success rates of organizations, whether they were using traditional hybrid or adaptive approaches. The organizations, one of the things that we found was that 84% of the respondents reported implementing hybrid or adaptive methods, but their success rates with those approaches was not that impressive. However, we did see that organizations who put the PMO in charge of managing projects had a much higher success rate on their agile or adaptive projects, as well as on the projects that were using traditional project management. There are a couple of factors that stand out for the high performers in this study. One is training. And this isn't surprising because this is something that we see over and over again in our research studies. High-performing organizations do more training, no matter what the topic is. It doesn't matter whether we're researching portfolio management, benefits realization, virtual, as in the 2021 study, virtual project management or virtual teaming. The companies who are the most successful are the ones who do the most training, and they train 3 to 4 times as much as the low performers in the study. And in a minute, I'm going to explain how we determine high performers and low performers. So the other factor that was important was that the most successful organizations in using adaptive approaches, and this is perhaps because of the training, they also reported having a more transparent and collaborative work environment. There was a higher degree of trust between teams and managers, for example. And they reported also having a work climate that was conducive to trying new things and also to failing, to not shooting the messenger, as it were, when you try a new approach for project management and it doesn't work out. This is how successful organizations move ahead. They're constantly experimenting, and having a climate that is conducive to experimentation, I think, is really key in succeeding with Agile. Sydney, you've been directly involved with some PMOs working to instill an Agile environment. Would you like to comment on how the PMO can make a difference?
Absolutely. The PMO has been around for a long time in many organizations, and we started out as looking at methodology and having a consistent methodology, and having project managers reporting into the PMO office and reporting metrics on projects. And that is all important information and data. One of the key things for the PMO as we grow and evolve in work execution is the type of involvement the PMO has. There is still a need for a PMO and for an office that has the consistent method.
Hi there, hope you enjoyed that last clip. My name is Michael Malutis, and if you'd like to watch the full 60 minutes of that last webcast, while also gaining complete unlimited access to our entire library of IT learning, simply visit our subscribe page at greatpro.org/subscribe. Unlimited annual access is $199 per year, but if you use the coupon code LEARN to earn, you can drop that membership fee to just $149. That's less than $13 per month for unlimited access to over 1,000 hours of on-demand career development, covering the entire spectrum of IT management best practices, including business analysis and requirements, software development, quality and testing, risk management, process improvement, project management, and even digital transformation. But your membership doesn't just give you unlimited access to our vast learning library. You also get free access to our mobile app, as well as direct access to our network of over 300 of the world's leading IT consultants, all of whom are dedicated to putting practical knowledge at your fingertips so that you can learn more and earn more. I hope you will join me in becoming a member of the Great IT Professional and advancing your career with us. And if you're on YouTube, don't forget to hit that subscribe button above so that you get notified whenever we publish new free webcasts each week of the year. Thank you for your time and best wishes for your continued success.